Ty Brady here with Brady Insurance Marketing and the Ty Brady Way. As a successful entrepreneur myself, I'm passionate in helping other entrepreneurs do the same as they rise from rags to riches and get inspired each week on the stories they tell here at the Ty Brady Way. Welcome back to another episode of the Ty Brady Way. Today we have Tyler Volson on the show. And, Tyler, I've known you for about 3 years now. A little bit of backstory. I've coached youth sports for a number of years. And Tyler, one of his, was your captain in the fire department?
Yep.
Yeah, so your captain in your fire department is coaching with me. And he said, hey, I got this guy that's got this idea and wants to see if he can come and do a free shoot. And I'm like, you know what? Sure, why not, right? So that's how we got introduced. But, I want to get a little backstory on that. I mean, you're in the fire department. That does give you a lot of, you're on when you're on, you're off when you're off. What do you work, 12 hours a day?
48.
48. I mean, that's
96 hours off.
I'm at 12 to 15 days off a month, right?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yes. Yep.
So you're like, hey, I'm going to do this. But, I mean, have you always had like a desire to film, or what? How did that come about?
Yeah, so kind of going back on my story, when I was 22, I started my film company.
Okay.
And it started with, so my dad's an engineer, civil engineer in St. George. And he was working on this project in Snow Canyon area, and it was a house. He said, hey, you should come out. I just got a camera. And he's like, you should come out and film some of this foundation of this house. It's huge. It's being built. It's like biggest house I've ever, worked on. Went out there, met with the contractor. And the contractor was like, hey, I would love for you to document this home. It's a very unique, special home. So long story short, ended up meeting the homeowners. They loved the video work, right? I did 1 or 2 videos for the contractor. Then the homeowners were just blown away. They're like, we have to have this dream home documented.
Wow.
So I started filming that, and then that rolled into another home of theirs, and they kind of kicked off my video business. And then from there, it transitioned into doing some weddings. And from there, we moved to Idaho. I met a great guy that lived in Idaho. He owns the largest llama ranch in North America.
Wow.
I really wanted to get into the outdoor scene with filming. So we moved to Idaho to work with him, did a whole bunch of marketing for him. We grew his company from when I started working with him to the time I ended, which was about 2.5 years. We grew at 400% through marketing and videos and everything.
Yeah.
Just really promoted his company. And that got me into the hunting scene, the outdoor scene. I filmed a ton of kind of extreme expedition trips we went to Russia, British Columbia, all over the United States, filming hunts, fishing trips, just all sorts of crazy things. And it was awesome. I mean, I was super blessed and grateful for the opportunities I've had and the people I've met through filming. And then when we were in Idaho, my wife got pregnant. We had our first son, and that's when I kind of took a step back. I said, hey, I need to step away from kind of the adventure scene. I need to be home a little bit more. We moved to Salt Lake City, and I got hired by Salt Lake City Fire Department. And that's where I met my captain, who works with you, who coaches with you. And then that brought me all the way back to, when I was doing fire, I said, I miss the creative side of things. I love creating. I love using my cameras. And that's when that opportunity came up. He showed me a clip on his iPhone. He's like, check out my son, scoring a touchdown or whatever it was.
Catching a pass.
And I said, this was 2024, I think, 2023. I said, we've got some crazy cameras now, right? And I've got all the equipment. And I said, let me come out to your practice. Let me do a free shoot. And that's when I met you, and things just took off from there. It was awesome.
So you never really, did you like going through high school, or did you like, hey, were you always had a passion for filming, or like you just?
Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily filming. It was more the creative side. I loved creating, right? I loved just anything creative, art, video, music, like anything else. I was always kind of drawn to it, but I never really pursued it until I was, 21, 22 years old. And I came across some YouTube videos and really learned like, hey, there's a lot of people out there that learn how to use their cameras really well, just consumer grade cameras. They pick up their cameras, they learn how to use it, and then they branch off and they find people that necessarily don't want to go to a huge marketing agency to, pay all this money to get these videos. Whereas a consumer level, you can create these videos with these tools that are provided now, especially with Sony and Canon and all these wonderful softwares that we have. And so once I kind of dove into that and learned like, hey, I can learn this on my own, it just kind of took off and it started growing, and it was really cool to see, and it's been a fun kind of adventure. So
we're in a day and age where you talk for if you're college recruiting, recruiting even in any capacity, we're in a day and age where it's digital. And I've talked to college recruiters from lacrosse to baseball, football, and they're like, the first thing we look at is a kid's social media. And they want to know, like, and I'll go all the way back. And they're like, if there's something derogatory on their social media, they immediately cut them, even before grades.
Yeah.
They'll look at their social media. They're like, if they're out doing this and that and causing mischief, they're like, that's not what we need. So these young kids that I've coached the last 7 years, I'm like, listen, you're being watched now.
Yeah.
And you need to be careful because you can't take that down. And once it's posted, it's out there.
Yeah.
So you need to be careful. But we live in a day and age where it's important, like even for recruiting in college. I was talking to my buddy of mine. He's like, the first thing that any recruiter asks for is, do you have film? Right? And they want good film, right? Where they can see, does this individual fit the scheme of our offense or our defense, or is he going to fill this position? And then you have the world on top of that, the NIL money, where they're like, okay, they're getting offered deals to play college sports, which is great and bad at the same time, but that's a need. I mean, it's in the NFL today.
Yep.
I mean, they're like, hey, they have people on the field that strictly film a specific athlete.
Absolutely.
So as you've been growing this, and I know that, you've offered a free shoot to a lot of people. I mean, in industry and as an entrepreneur, as the show is helping other successful entrepreneurs and inspiring them to do more. I mean, that's time and money that you spent of yours without anything in return.
Correct. Yeah. But it's worth it, right? In the end, you're building. And to me, the starting stages of this company, when I met you, it was like, so I was new to the sports industry, right? I'd filmed the adventure side of things. I'd filmed the weddings. I'd filmed the houses. The sports is kind of where I was drawn to. And I needed a portfolio. I needed to show people that I could produce a high quality product. And so that's where is like doing these free shoots and putting in my time. It was very time taxing, right? Like my wife, she's amazing, very supportive, and
got to have those in your life.
Absolutely. And she's always pushing me like, go do this. But in the back of my mind, I'm always like, hey, well, it's going to pay off. I'm putting in all this time. And so I'm grateful that she's super supportive of that. And it was like the past 2 years of doing it. It's been a lot of time. But we're finally seeing that payoff of, people outside people reaching out and, hey, we want this, and it's just growing. It's growing like crazy.
The one thing that cracks me up is anytime you go, they see, is Tyler going to be here, right? You come, Tyler going to be here, right? They want to know, right? And then they're like, and then they want the film tomorrow.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, he's got to take time, right? He's got to take the time to put it together. He's got to go through the film. Everyone always asks me, like, who does this for you? I'm like, he's a film guy we hire. And they're like, they have no idea. And it's nice for me because I'm like, I don't have to worry about it.
Right.
I just, if I need something, it's like, hey, Tyler, what was this? What was that? Remember when we had that kid that got injured?
Yes.
We went back and we had that film and what happened. Yep. And I'm like, wow.
We slowed it down.
Yeah.
You could see, that was crazy.
But I helped the doc. I mean, they give it to the doctors like, hey, how was this hit? But luckily he's okay because that was a scary deal.
That was scary. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's nice because I've seen a lot more parents come up to me at the games like, hey, thank you so much for the film. And parents that I don't even know, right? They're just connected to a team. And multiple parents have said like, thank you so much. Like, it is so nice when we see you here that we don't even pull out our iPhones anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we're just present in the game. We get to watch our kid play and enjoy the game, right? And we see you down there filming and we know that you're going to deliver clips and a highlight reel, and so it's nice. It's really nice talking to the parents.
What I like is you cut out all of the unnecessary stuff, right. and I can just focus on I get to watch it in 15-20 minutes versus an hour, right? And it's like I can really, and then I can slow back or what I need to be like, okay, what can we do better here, right?
Yeah, so it's fun.
In the last 3 years, in the first, you did all that stuff. I mean, I talk in business, it's either time or money or both, right? So you spend a lot of time, and I mean, obviously you weren't necessarily getting money in return. What did that first year look like? I mean, how did you push through and persevere?
The biggest thing was, honestly, what kept pushing me was the feedback from parents and teams and coaches, right? I would go out, put the time in, make an edit, give it back, and people just loved it. I mean, it was just all positive feedback, and then people wanting more and more and more. And so it was that, honestly, it was that feedback, that positive energy. I loved it, right? I was like, I'll take any gig I can find, right? Whether it's hockey, soccer, football, lacrosse. If any parent approached me and wanted something, I would do my best to try to give them something unique and deliver that. And it became addictive. I loved it, right?
Yeah.
And my wife saw that. She's like, you really are passionate about it. You love going to these games and filming and giving these athletes their content. And it kind of turned into, at first it was kind of like, let me just go out for fun. Let me go to Ty's team and just create. And now it's turned into, I want to create for these athletes because I want them to go to college. I want these athletes to get the content they need and push it to the recruiters and for the parents that have put in so much time and money. I want them to see that payoff. And so
then after year one, I know you and I have talked, and I'm like, hey, what's the price for this? And I'm like, man, I think you're like, you were saying, oh, I'm getting inundated with all these people. And I'm like, hey, Tyler, you need to raise your price, right?
Yep.
And you're like, well, what do you mean? And it's kind of scary, right? Because you're like, I get all these people coming at me, but your price needs to be your price. And I think a lot of people in business realize, they're like, well, because someone's always going to come in and do it for cheaper, right?
Right.
Like they're maybe trying to get into it, and they're like, hey, I'll do it for X, right? But you have value,
right? And
you know what you're worth. And how hard was that for you to be like, okay, you're going in to close a deal. You're like, hey, right? It's like, how did that go?
It's scary, right? And I'm still in that phase of like really trying to figure out fair pricing, the right pricing for time and equipment and money and everything, right? I'm trying to find that price point. And I've worked with so many great people that finding that price to make it worth it to bring on new guys, bring on new cameramen, bring on editors.
Yeah.
There's going to be a chunk of people that it's going to affect a lot, and they're going to fall off. Yeah. Because that's not in their price range anymore. And I don't love that, because I want to work with everyone, and I've built great relationships.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a business, right? I need to keep growing. I need to build a bigger team, and I can't keep doing that at certain price points.
Sure.
And so it kind of breaks my heart a little bit to do that. It's scary. It's hard, when someone approaches you and say, hey, this year we've bumped the price to this. This is what it is. We can't budge the price. And you kind of see like, oh, we're not in it this year. Sorry, we can't. And I hate that feeling, because I want everyone to have it, but it's gotten to that point where we're just so busy and the time that it has to just keep growing that way.
Well, I looked at what you charge, and I'm like, okay, well, you got drive time, you got the time on the field. I mean, I don't know how you make money, right? And then the time editing. How long does it take you to edit a 30-second clip?
So if I'm combining clips and color grading and adding music effects, I mean, it could be, for a 30-second reel, it could be minimum an hour up to 2 to 3 hours, right?
Yeah,
depending on how much you're putting into it.
And if you're paying someone $20 an hour to edit on top of your time being out on the field, I mean, you got to take that into consideration, right?
Exactly. So yeah, that's been my biggest crutch, or crux. I don't know the right word for that, but it's just like trying to find that sweet spot of, getting as many people involved as possible, but also hitting that price point of what covers my time and employees and all that. But,
well, I mean, I would hope that people realize that as a company in general, you don't stay in business. You have to be profitable.
Correct.
If you're not profitable, you close your doors and then you have nothing.
Right.
And the product you delivered, I mean, speaks for itself. I mean, kids love it, parents love it, and they're always going back. I mean, they're always commenting.
Yeah, they love it. They love it, and it's fun to see. It drives me.
How many? So you've picked up some big contracts, right? Mm-hmm. And I know we've talked about those as well. And what is your biggest challenge, would you say, going forward, next to trying to find the price point that's reasonable for the teams or the year? And then what's the next biggest hurdle for you?
Biggest hurdle that I'm dealing with right now is finding basically subcontractors that can work with me, right? Mm-hmm. And it's scary especially in like the media industry, like it's your name, right? And so people have hired me for my camera work and my editing. Mm-hmm. Like that's the product they want. So bringing on new cameramen or new editors is scary, because they don't have the same eye that I have, right? And not saying that
Yet.
right. It's a training process,
yeah.
right? And so it just is scary because a lot of these guys I've worked with a little bit, the guys that I've reached out to, and I know they're good, but it's still scary of like, are they going to deliver what I need, right? Are they going to give me the content? Are they going to go out and film this football game, come back, and I'll have the content to give these parents that have paid me? So it's the scariest. It's terrifying, but I know it'll work out.
Yeah.
I try to be very selective on who I pick to help film.
Yeah.
Because anyone can point a camera, but if you need to know how to use the camera correctly. So if things change, you can change your settings, right? And you kind of compose the frame. You need to learn where to put the athlete in the frame for different situations, right? If it's a quarterback, you want to shift him to the left of the frame so you can lead the ball right as he's throwing, right? Just little things like that is to kind of, I guess, kind of like jump ahead, like one step ahead of the play, like what's going on. And I've noticed that with filming such as lacrosse. I knew nothing about lacrosse,
right?
Super fast. And I remember when you brought me out for my first game, you're like, hey, it's fast, it's different. I'd never watched a lacrosse game. And I told you, I was like, hey, this might take me till halftime to figure out. But I was like, I'm going to figure it out. And within the first quarter, I was like, okay, this is how the ball moves. This is how the players shift. So just being able to read that and pick that up while you're filming is huge. And that's just something that takes time to learn.
Yeah.
And so when I'm hiring people, it's scary because I'm like, dude, how fast is it going to take you to
adjust
learn these? Yeah, to adjust these. So, but it's fun. It's fun. And I hope this year I'm hoping to bring on, 2 or 3 great cameramen we can all spread out and cover more games. So.
Something that may help you is I had a hard time with that as well. And because you can only do 100% of 100%, right?
Right.
Even if you hired somebody that could do 50% of your 100%, that's 50% more than you can do than your 100%.
Correct.
So when you're, and it's hard because you're like, but you're like, okay, but you need it, right?
Yeah.
As the volume comes in, as the people want your services, then your hope is that over time you can get that 50% to 70%, 80 and 100, and that you have those quality people where you can continue to grow your brand. And they are an extension of you. You're duplicating yourself.
Yeah.
And that way you're like, okay, I can go to this game. They can go to that game. They can go over here and then pull it all together in the end.
Yeah.
Scaling. It's a beautiful thing.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm excited for it. I've never, like my video business before I did sports and before I did firefighting, it was just me. And so I'd go out and do everything, whether it was like a high adventure hunting film or a fishing trip or a wedding, whatever. It was always just me. And so this is like an exciting time for me and my wife and my family of like actually scaling and growing a production company. And it's something I've always wanted to do. I just never saw the need when I was doing those other filming things. Like, the adventure trips is like, I don't want to bring a whole crew with me, especially on these big hunts where people are paying thousands of dollars to go on this crazy hunting trip. It's like they typically just want one person with you. So this is exciting to finally grow and build a team and see where we can take it.
In any entrepreneur, they usually find a niche, right? Or a vertical. They say a niche or a vertical. So are you going to continue with sports? That's just say I'm only doing sports of all kinds. That's just, I'm going to go all in with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's fun. It's too much fun. I love being at the games. I love the editing side, going back and watching it and slowing the footage down. And then most importantly, and the part that drives me is just the excitement from the parents and the players when I deliver the content. And they post it on social media and everyone's commenting. And it's fun seeing, especially in the lacrosse scene, because it's a big club scene here in Utah now. You get all these players that play on rival high schools. And then as soon as club starts, they're all on the same team and they're just uplifting each other. They're commenting, oh, this guy's tough, this. And so it's really cool to see that, during the high school season, they're battling. And then come club, they're just like best of friends and they're commenting and lifting each other up. And
we saw that in the state finals, the 7-8-year-olds, where half the team was with a different team and the other half was with a different team. And they played against each other for the state championship. Unfortunately, we lost.
Yeah.
I coached that game, darn it, 10-6. But, got to hand it to the other team. But at the end, they were taking pictures together and growing together because a lot of these guys, they're going to play with rival high schools. They may or may not go play college ball, but it's fun to watch. But they do comment on each other's reel. They're like, "Oh, that shot was sick," right? Or whatever. They're like, "Oh, you got me there," or like, "We locked you down." It's just the chatter, right? It's all positive.
It's cool. And that team, that state game, they went on to destroy teams in the summer league. So they came together and went back. Where'd they go? Delaware?
Yeah, Delaware. That was a phenomenal.
And they dominated the whole competition.
So. They were not expected to do anything with that, but they've really come together. They've played together. Wow, how many years now? It's got to be 6 years, most of them. That was core group of kids. And now they're all in high school, and it's sad to see because now I'm like, oh, I got to let them go, right? But, it's been great, and they're all going to go to their different high schools and, hopefully win state championships in their bracket and go on to do greater, better things.
Absolutely.
Cool. It's amazing when you look at them, they're like this big. Now they're, this big. Yeah. Right? You're like, you're a man-child. You're as big as me, right?
Yep. That's kind of one thing that's been fun about filming is when I started with you, I got to meet a ton of athletes, right, at that young age. And it's really cool to see them over the past 3 years develop and grow. And like I've seen some, amazing football players come out of it and lacrosse players, and now it's transitioning into soccer and hockey. And so it's cool getting in early and like just kind of following along these athletes as they grow all the way through high school. And then looking back at the footage, it's like, hey, this was you when you scored a goal when you were, 8 years old, and now here you are in high school. So it's pretty cool. I think as the company keeps growing and we film year after year, it's going to be cool to see these kind of these mashups we can put together of all these kids.
And I think it's you started out with Little League, right? Rec sports, and that grew into, now you're into club sports, and now you're into high schools are like, hey, I want you to come and film all the games, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you get to go to a game and film it, and then I don't know about the editing side of it, but hey, I mean, I love watching sports.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's like, awesome. I look at it as like, for me, it's not work. It's play, right? Like I go out and I get to go to these varsity football games and watch the games, and then go home and rewatch them with the edits and find the best highlights and kick them out. And so I enjoy it. I love it.
There's times you're like, hey, did you see that play with so-and-so? I'm like, no, I didn't, but I saw it on your reel. You're like, did I catch you with so-and-so or whoever? And it's like, oh my God, I coached that kid 3 years ago. They're just man-child. They're huge, and it's fun. But, the best thing about coaching is I'll be walking in a grocery store or I'll be out and about, and they're like, hey, coach. It's like that bond that you created. And because, I mean, the amount of time you spend with these kids, I mean, it's 20, 30 hours a week.
Yeah.
By the time practice and then Saturdays, I mean, you're like they say sports, or especially with football's family, it is. You spend more time with your collective sports team than per se your family.
Yeah. It's a ton of work.
That bond.
Yeah.
And then you're on the sidelines recording it all, documenting it.
Yep. It's fun. It's fun.
Well, Tyler, thanks for being on the show. Any last thoughts that you would say to an entrepreneur that's looking to do something? Maybe something like, hey, what would be some of the last thoughts? Positive and negative. Like, hey, just keep fighting. What would it be?
Yeah, I would just say the biggest thing that's helped me, that could help a lot of people, is networking. Right? Like there's gonna be times where things are super slow, or you're struggling to get more money. Your time is just totally capped out. You don't have any more. But the biggest thing to do is, find those people that are successful or have been in the same experience, or, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a successful person, right? It could just be somebody that you look up to that's a leader, and just really take their advice. They're going to give you advice. They're going to walk you through. They're going to see things that you're not seeing. As you're growing your business. So, hey, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Take that advice, and then just network with people, right? Just talk to whoever you're, I guess, in contact with in your industry, right? It doesn't have to be like mine is filming, right? So I talk to as many parents as I can on the sidelines. If I see parents, I talk to them, hey, what number is your kid? Let me send you a clip of your son or your daughter out playing. And it just grows and grows and grows. And so network with as many people as you can. And then, just don't stop. If you're passionate about it and you love it, just find a way to keep going. And it takes time, but it will grow.
I know you and I talk about business a lot, and you're like, we need to spend more time, because I'm like, Tyler, you gotta. You said you thought about this, because there's a lot of things that I've done on the media side, because I got into it 3 years ago. That's really helped scale my business as well, and that's when I had to have the realization that people are online 24/7. It's selling 24/7, and something I posted 3 years ago, someone may watch today and reach out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't even remember what I said 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And but they're like, hey, I watched this, or I did this, or hey, I had a question about this. And that's what's amazing is people, social media is not going away. Right. I mean, it's rapidly growing. It's going to continue to grow. I can't even remember the numbers of accounts that are being opened on a regular basis, but look at all the people that are selling products online and distribution now that wasn't before. It's a completely different ballgame, but they're branding themselves just like you are.
Yeah. Push social media. That's huge. Everything I do, every edit I make, I always make some kind of reel for social media. Mm-hmm. Like for instance, just one example, there was a girls lacrosse team that had never had footage before, and they were doing awesome during the year.
Didn't they go to the state championship?
They did, yeah. They lost in the state championship, but it was an incredible game. But the coach reached out and she's like, hey, I've seen you do incredible work for the boys lacrosse team, the football team. She's like, I just want to give these girls like something to take home, mm-hmm. to have as a keepsake, right? As a memory of our awesome season. So I went out and filmed, and there was just incredible highlights from the game, just incredible highlights. And there was one clip from a very talented athlete on the team that she stole the ball from a goalie and went and scored. And that was months ago, but it's still, that view count is still growing, and we're up to, I think, 3 million views.
3 million
on that. It's been reposted by some of the biggest lacrosse, channels on Instagram. And I'm like, she got so much viewership and noticeability out of it just from me being out there and filming. And then, like you said, you post it, and it just sits and lives on social media, and it never goes away.
Yeah.
And every day I just keep getting comments. And it's just like, it's crazy. It's so crazy. But yeah, just having that visibility is huge.
Wow. So, and to think you started coming out to a lacrosse football game for free.
Yep.
I mean, not lacrosse football, a football game for free, and say, hey, let me do some filming.
Yep. Let me come out and use my creativity to give you guys something cool. But it's turned into something awesome. So
that is awesome. Anything else?
No, I'm grateful for you for taking a chance on me and bringing me out to your little league practice that one day. And
dude, I love people that are willing to take a chance. I was there once, and I'm like, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
And then whatever vision you have, whatever niche you want to do, it's the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
It's the land we live in.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's awesome. You can pursue anything now. Every time I get on YouTube or Instagram and I see these people, I'm like, wow, this guy is making a living off of making videos about ants. It's crazy. It's insane. But it's like, he's got paid ads and all this stuff where he's showing people how to do lawn care, and it's millions of views. So it's like you said, the sky's the limit. You can, if you're passionate about something, you can pursue it and turn it into a career.
Absolutely. Tyler, thanks so much for being on the show. As always, share, like, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Ty Brady Way. As always, share, like, and subscribe. Go to Instagram at ty.r.brady. And as always, love hearing from you. And let me know what you want to learn on the show or what you'd like me to bring up on the show. Thanks.
You can find the Ty Brady Way on Instagram as well as Facebook. To stay connected with giveaways and Ty himself, go ahead and follow at ty.r.brady on Instagram as well as Facebook. This podcast was recorded, edited, and produced by Whitney Face Media Marketing. And the theme music is an excerpt from Hot Chicken of the Woods by Isaac Joel.